This is my prediction, Steve, that before this season is over, Angel Reese is going to figure out a way to tap out, quit basically, and demand some sort of trade, because this Chicago team is one of the worst teams in the WNBA, in my opinion. Part of that is because they can't even play the right way, because they have to pretend that Angel Reese is some sort of offensive player, and they end up ignoring Carmela Cardosa, the actual better offensive player in the post. And so this is going to be a team that wins few games. Attendance in Chicago is going to dip as they continue to get the brakes beat off of them. And so the whole lie that people are coming out to see Angel Reese is going to get exposed, and Angel Reese is going to start sniffing around the WNBA transfer portal and look for a way out to go jump on some actual good team where she can just rebound and dress up as basketball Barbie.
What's up, everyone? This is your channel TFD, back with another video. And tonight we have to talk about Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky's rough home opener. For this one, we're heading to Chicago, where the Sky took on the New York Liberty. Let's get into it. What a matchup on paper. Angel Reese and the Sky facing off against the Liberty. But honestly, this was not the performance anyone expected from Reese. I've got to keep it real. This was by far the toughest game we've seen from her so far. And I know some folks might not want to say it, but I'm going to. Angel Reese looked completely out of rhythm, and the hype just wasn't backed up on the floor tonight. Let's break down the numbers. Reese finished with just 2 points, going 0 for 8 from the field and only hitting 2 of her 6 free throws. That's the first time in her pro career she didn't make a single basket from the field. She did grab 12 rebounds, including 8 on the offensive glass, but a lot of those were off her own missed shots. The Liberty's defense made it tough, and the Sky just couldn't find their groove, falling 99-74 in front of their home crowd. It's not just the scoring either. Reese also had 5 turnovers and was a -25 on the floor, the lowest plus-minus on the team. The Liberty came out firing, setting a regular season record with 19 three-pointers and never letting Chicago get comfortable. Rookie head coach Tyler Marsh said it best. New York asserted their dominance and disrupted our rhythm. They are a strong team, and we can't afford to create our own obstacles. This is a tough start for Reese, especially after a rough loss to the Indiana Fever just days earlier. But she's got the next game to bounce back, and the season is still young. Check out the highlights and listen to what Coach Marsh had to say after the game, because the Sky have a lot to work on if they want to turn things around. Stay tuned, and let's see if Angel Reese can silence the doubters next time out.
Play point, Rachel Banham, Ariel Atkins, of course Haley Van Lith off the bench.
Cardoso with the miss. Angel Reese picks it up, what she's good at. Getting another offensive rebound. She says, give me that. How about another? Persistence trying to pay off. Jones gets a piece. Angel Reese won't give up. Jones with another block. And kick out to Kia Nurse.
We laugh at Angel Reese missing layups, but in reality, it's sad. She is very selfish. She will risk the liveliness of her team's success in order to stat pad rebounds and feed her own ego. It's really bad.
Coach, just the turnovers these last 2 games. It's been 20 plus and then giving up 27 points off 24 turnovers today. I know film will show a lot, but what are you seeing that is kind of the leading cause as to why there's been so many turnovers these last 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's been a kind of a plethora of different things. I think that we just got to be strong with the ball. I think that sometimes our spacing can kind of create a crowd a little bit, and so we're not creating as much space as we like to be able to deliver passes clean. But yeah, it's been a couple of things.
And then the assist ratio that we've just seen, you started out, in training camp, there was assisting on almost 60-70% of the field goal attempts. It's kind of been low, especially today. How can you get that ball moving around and create those opportunities so that assist number gets up and you're able to get some spacing and ball movement?
Yeah, I think our offense is built around pace and spacing. And so, when the ball is moving, when our bodies are moving, when we're cutting, when we're able to create space and driving lanes, that's what opens up those driving kick threes. And I think that at times, we generate those, and it's just a matter of knocking them down here and there. And then other times that we get a little stagnant and, again, playing crowds a little bit too much at times. So we'll get back to work. We'll correct those things. We shot the ball decent from 3 tonight, but our efficiency in the paint wasn't that great. And, again, you have nights like that scoring the ball, and unfortunately we've had back-to-back nights with that, but we just got to stay to it. And we had 16 assists on 25 made field goals, and so we're getting some good looks. We just need more of them.
We'll go Jason, front row on your right, and then Andy.
Tyler, to your right, when you talk about the inefficiency in the paint, Angel kept getting the ball down there off rebounds or passes, and it just seemed like it would get stripped or blocked. What did you see that was preventing her from getting in the flow of the offense today?
I think it was just some of them were just rushed. I mean, that was really it. I think it was just rushed. But I mean, Angel knows that we have confidence in her, just like Camilla, and any of our guards that penetrate into the paint and get looks at the rim. Like, we have constant belief and confidence in all of our players to be able to make those, and now it's just a matter of doing it. But yeah, it's not going to be often that we have a ton of nights like this.
And the foul call that preceded the technical foul, it looked like you were arguing with that as well. Did you see it differently, or did you think it was more based on the reaction from New York's bench?
I think I just fight for my players and just leave it at that.
We'll go to Andy, back row on your left.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned before the game, looking back at the Fever game, that you guys had a lot of good looks. They just weren't necessarily falling. Would you kind of categorize what happened today as a similar thing, that you like the looks that your team got?
At times, but I think, again, the turnovers are still a thing that kind of is a thorn in our side. And, it's second straight game that we've had more possessions than our opponent, but we come out on the bottom end. And so, the possessions, the amount of possessions is good, but at the same time, we got to be able to convert. And so we'll take a look and see how we can be more efficient from that standpoint, but we got to take care of the ball first.
So Kaylin, second row on your left, or on your right, and then Naomi on your right.
Coach, when you guys came out, when you came out in the third quarter, you went on that 8-1 run, and they were playing like the team in the system that you want them to play. What were those adjustments you made at halftime in that period, and how does your team sort of come out the gate with that energy in the future?
Yeah, I think it was just the messaging at halftime was just kind of taking it to them, like playing with force and getting downhill and kind of dictating our pace and our will as opposed to the reverse. And I think that more often than not in this game, New York imposed their will on us a little bit and took us out of rhythm. But early in that third quarter and for much of that first quarter, I thought we did a pretty good job of doing what we wanted to do. That's a good team, and against a good team, you can't afford to have self-inflicted wounds throughout a game, and especially when they shoot 56% from 3, it's going to be a long night.
Coach, the bench was the bright spot for tonight for you guys, 41 points. So how do you kind of make up, the performance that they put on and being able to lock in during times of adversity and, contribute to this game regardless of the score?
Yeah, I think that, every minute is valuable. And so, Courtney kind of spoke to it about leaving the starters in late and trying to, develop more of a rhythm with them as well. But just specifically speaking to the bench, it's those are valuable minutes to see their cohesiveness as well and to continue to develop trust within each other and trust within our staff. And so, I thought they played well for a good portion of their minutes. And now it's just about how we're able to kind of mix them in with our first group and just seeing, what rotations work as we move forward.
You brought Haley Van Lith in the game much earlier than the first game against the Fever. What led to that decision today?
Yeah, I think just giving us another ball handling threat and getting Rachel off the ball a little bit more so she can, be more efficient at doing what she does, and that's shoot the ball. And so having someone else that can handle and get downhill and kind of create for others. And I thought she did a really good job of leading her unit while she was in there and got some minutes with a couple of the starters as well. And so I was really pleased from Haley's effort tonight.
Last few, we'll go second row on your left.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned before the game that two qualities of a championship-winning team are toughness and minimizing mistakes. What do you think today tells you about how close or how far away you are from being where you want to be as a team?
Yeah, I think that 3 weeks and 2 games in together, it's tough to be a championship caliber team. I think that for us, it's always been about creating those standards, and so it's something that we build towards. And I talk all the time to our team about not playing to a score, but playing to a standard of who we want to be, and that's how we gauge our success in the short term anyway. And so we want to play consistent sky basketball for 40 minutes game to game, and so we don't want to look ahead. We want to deal with the present and learn from our past and continue pushing.
We'll stay second row on your left, and then we'll close out with Zachary and Alyssa.
Yeah, Rachel obviously taking a lot of threes, took 7 this game, 6 last game. How important is she to this kind of offensive scheme that you're trying to put together, and what adjustments need to be made to get the ball into her hands and get open looks for her earlier in the game?
Yeah, I think that her skill set, her greatest skill is shooting the ball, and so we want to put her in positions to be able to do that. But that's also why we have Kia and Beck and added those players to our team as well, and Ariel as well. So the ability to shoot helps our spacing, but at the same time, I think I got to be a little bit better at getting the ball into our post players as well, and letting our shooters feed off of them too. And so we'll continue to look at that moving forward.
Zachary, front row on your left.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned Camila earlier. She obviously battled it out as best she could against JJ, scoring 6 points, grabbed a couple boards. Just wondering what your assessment was of her, since obviously she's one of those players that is developing and blossoming into more of an elite talent going up against somebody like JJ.
Yeah, I thought that she had solid minutes at times. I think that we talk a lot about the assertiveness there, and for me, I got to be more intentional about getting her looks down there, easier looks down there. And then from Camilla's perspective, I think that she's got to continue to impose her will on the defense as well, because she's a load down there, and she can be extremely effective and cause a lot of attention to create opportunities for our shooters and for other players on the floor with her. And so we'll continue to try to exploit that.
Hey, Coach. How do you think you can get Ariel more involved into the offense?
Ariel? Yeah, I think that Ariel is versatile. She's someone that can play off the dribble and off the catch. And so I think that she's someone that we got to continue to find ways to space the floor to allow her to operate in space and not tight spaces. And so, again, we'll continue to look at areas to
Drop your thoughts down in the comments box. I want to hear what y'all really think about this situation. Keep those notifications on, because I'm always coming through with the latest WNBA news. We had to talk about this one. No sugarcoating. I've been trying to cut Angel Reese some slack, giving her the benefit of the doubt. But honestly, at this point, she's just not even worth making content about. That's how bad it's looking. She's that off her game right now.